My name is Emily. I'm 31 years old and I work as a benefits planner for a global life insurance company. Despite the decent pay, my job often takes me to various companies, providing ample opportunities to meet new people, including men. However, recently, one of these acquaintances put me through a terrible ordeal driven by his grief for money, ultimately ruining a significant milestone in my life. Today, I'd like to share the story of this unfortunate event. I lost both my parents in a car accident when I was in elementary school. Raised by my maternal grandparents, who didn't have much money, I attended local public schools throughout middle and high school. Despite their financial constraints, my grandparents took out loans so I could attend a somewhat expensive college. After securing a job, I took over the remaining debt, leaving me a bit financially strapped. It was during this time that I met David through a mutual work connection. Upon sharing my financial situation with him, David nervously laughed, revealing his own struggle with student loans. "I'm in a similar boat, still paying off student loans," he said. "So, we're the debt repayment couple, huh?" I replied, feeling an immediate connection. "Exactly," I said. "I'd love to be debt-free as soon as possible." During our time dating, I found immense happiness with David, despite our limited disposable income. Over the 3 years, David continued to excel in his career, earning promotions that improved our quality of life. As his income increased, so did our relationship's stability. I, too, intensified my efforts in debt repayment, not wanting to lag behind. David always had encouraging words for me, reminding me not to push myself too hard. "Emily, if you collapse, I'll be ruined too. You're the reason I can work hard like this." "Thank you," he'd say. I reciprocated his support, acknowledging that he was my source of motivation as well. We emotionally supported each other through the daily grind, finding fulfillment and purpose in our relationship. It was during this high point that David finally proposed, expressing his desire for us to be lifelong partners, supporting each other through thick and thin. Overjoyed, I accepted, looking forward to our future together. We decided to rent a new condo and move in together, both of us earning well. Our relationship only seemed to grow stronger, with David's parents welcoming me with open arms, thrilled to meet the woman their son had chosen, a beautiful and talented graduate from a reputable university. I recall feeling a mix of awkwardness and flattery as David's parents showered me with compliments. With no parents of my own and my grandparents, who raised me, now in a nursing home, I decided it was time for David to meet my high school best friend, Melissa. We arranged to meet at a cafe near Melissa's condo. "Nice to meet you, I'm David," he greeted her warmly. "Happy to finally meet you," Melissa replied with a smile. "Emily told me lots about you. Please take good care of her, she can be vulnerable at times." Though Melissa and I were the same age, she exuded stability and reliability. I had always looked up to her as a big sister figure, leaning on her for support when needed. A few months after this initial meeting, Melissa once again proved her unwavering support when a significant turning point came. Introducing David to my best friend went smoothly, and soon after, David and I began diving into wedding planning. However, David's work began demanding more of his time, often intruding on our plans. Even on days we had set aside for dress shopping, urgent calls would disrupt our schedule. "I have to work this weekend. I know it's a big day for us. I'm really sorry," David would apologize. Understanding his commitments, I reassured him, "It's okay. I'll try on the dresses, snap some pictures, and we can pick one later. Thank you for understanding." During this time, David was swamped with work, often having to work weekends and travel for business trips during the week. Left to handle much of the wedding planning on my own, juggling it with my job became exhausting. But despite the challenges, our hard work paid off. The ceremony and reception exceeded our expectations, with heartfelt speeches from Melissa and blessings from my grandparents, who sent their regards through a video message. As we bid farewell to the last of our guests, David and I finally found a moment to relax in the backstage room, basking in the joy of our special day. I still vividly recall the moment David's demeanor shifted, his casual demeanor abruptly interrupted by a surprised look upon checking his phone after our small talk. As he hastily excused himself from the table to take the call, I assumed it was work-related, not foreseeing the impending upheaval about to unfold in our lives. In the backyard of the venue, a steep staircase intended for staff caught my eye as I navigated the space in my gown. Oblivious to the distraction caused by someone calling from across the hallway, I found myself momentarily off guard. In an instant, my body was airborne, propelled through the air. a scream piercing the air as I collided with a powerful impact, engulfed by intense pain. As I lay in the hospital bed, bandages enveloping my arms and legs, bruises and scrapes marring my skin, I struggled to piece together the events leading to my current state. Miraculously, no bones were broken, but the contusions and bruises served as a painful reminder of the ordeal. The nurse's explanation offered little solace, merely confirming that I had tumbled down the venue's staircase, the details of the fall shrouded in mystery. Hours later, amidst the confusion and physical discomfort, another unexpected blow struck. David, who had entered my hospital room, delivered a devastating revelation, severing our relationship with callous finality. "You're useless to me now," he declared, thrusting a settlement of $30,000 towards me. Stunned and bewildered, I pleaded for an explanation, only to be met with a cold dismissal. "Just lie down and shut up. You'll only make your injuries worse," he retorted, callously disregarding my turmoil. The crushing realization dawned upon me as he callously confessed to finding another woman, leaving me reeling in disbelief and heartbreak. Love, I'm marrying her." "Sorry, Emily." David's words hit me like a ton of bricks. The disbelief mingled with the sting of betrayal as I struggled to comprehend the gravity of his revelation. "Emily, are you kidding me? We just had our wedding ceremony, and now this," I protested, the weight of his confession crushing my spirit. "But we haven't filed the marriage certificate yet. I was waiting for our anniversary to file the paperwork," I pleaded, clinging to the sliver of hope that remained. As the realization sunk in, I realized it was indeed the right decision to delay filing. David's genuine happiness at the unexpected turn of events betrayed his indifference towards my injuries and suffering. "I'll give you all the wedding gifts as a get-well-soon present. Bye," he nonchalantly declared before leaving, his laughter echoing in the empty room. "Wait, David," I called out, desperation tainting my voice. But he didn't hear, the sound of his departing laughter haunting my thoughts. Tears streamed down my face as I clung to Melissa, pouring out my heartache and despair. "It's been so tough," I sobbed, recounting the ordeal to Melissa. "I'm furious that this happened to you, Emily. Focus on healing for now. I'll look for the culprit," Melissa reassured me, her support a lifeline amidst the chaos. "The culprit." "David," Melissa's words hung heavy in the air, the pieces of the puzzle slowly falling into place. "He was even laughing when I was waiting for you to change so we could leave together. Then ambulances showed up, and it was chaos. They said you'd have fallen down the stairs. That's when I saw it. As they were carrying you, he had this nasty smile on his face," she recounted, a chill running down my spine at the revelation. "Did David push me down the stairs? What could he possibly gain from it?" The questions gnawed at my mind, but I pushed them aside, focusing on healing, as Melissa advised. As my physical wounds began to heal, so did the wounds of my heart, transforming my sorrow into fierce anger. I couldn't rest until the responsible parties were held accountable. A few weeks later, armed with evidence and fueled by the thirst for justice, Melissa and I lured David to a cafe, ready for payback. Determined to seek justice, I confronted David, who appeared noticeably different from the man I once knew. His flamboyant attire and unfamiliar accessories spoke volumes about the changes in him. Despite his seemingly good mood, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease as he handed me an envelope. "What's this?" I inquired, eyeing the sack of cash within. "It's a get-well gift," he replied casually, his nonchalance grating on my nerves. "Good to see that both your scars and bruising have healed." "How generous of you," I retorted, unable to conceal my sarcasm. "Do tell, what brought this on? Why did you betray Emily?" I demanded, my anger simmering beneath the surface. David's smirk only intensified, sending a shiver down my spine. "Actually," he began, his tone dripping with arrogance, "the woman I've been seeing won $10 million in the lottery." $10 million? I exclaimed, disbelief washing over me. "So what's $10,000 or $20,000 to me now?" he continued, his callousness leaving me speechless. It dawned on me that David had been involved with another woman even before we exchanged vows. She had struck it rich shortly after our wedding ceremony, prompting David to reconsider our marriage in favor of a new life with her. The revelation fueled the flames of revenge within me. "I can't forgive you," I declared, my voice trembling with fury. "I'll report you to the police." "Whoa there," David interjected, his tone suddenly grave. "Don't make it sound like I pushed you. There's no evidence." His words sent a chill down my spine, reminding me of the uphill battle we faced in proving his guilt. True, I conceded, recalling the staff's testimony of my supposed slip and fall. But they only reported what they saw. Melissa had done her own in-depth investigation. I'm really sorry for the trouble I've caused. He was blinded by the $10 million too, Rebecca said, her voice trembling with guilt. Her tearful confession was heart-wrenching, and I couldn't help but believe her sincerity. After apologizing profusely, she quietly disappeared without saying a word to David. Several weeks later, I received a desperate call from David, asking to meet and talk. When I saw him again, he was much more modestly dressed than before, a stark contrast to his previous flamboyance. I can't get in touch with Rebecca. Do you know where she is? He asked, his voice filled with anxiety. Why would I know where your $10 million lady is? I replied, my tone cold. Right? Listen, Emily, I've given you a total of $40,000, right? No, it's actually $60,000, including the compensation. I corrected him. Is that so? I hardly remember. Can you return half of that money, or even just $10,000? He pleaded. No, but I do have some valuable information for you. Information. David's curiosity was piqued. Yes, information that's quite important for you, I said, taking out my mobile phone. I played a pre-recorded video, and David's eyes widened in disbelief as Rebecca appeared on the screen. David, I have to apologize to you. I'm really sorry. The story about me winning $10 million in the lottery was a lie. I lied because I couldn't bear the thought of you marrying someone else, she confessed. I'm truly sorry. I just apologized to Emily as well. I plan to disappear from this town, and I can't tell you where I'm going. I'm really sorry for ruining both of your lives. David was stunned into silence, his shock palpable. The weight of his actions and the truth of Rebecca's deceit left him speechless. Pushing his spouse down the stairs for a non-existent $10 million, being fooled by a lie, impulsively committing a crime, and losing $60,000 in the process, his pathetic reality was laid bare. I left David as he was, head down and immobile, overwhelmed by the consequences of his actions and the ruin of his own making. I walked out of the cafe, gripping the receipt tightly. A few days after that encounter, my phone buzzed again. Another call from David. I've come to my senses. I was wrong. Can we start over? He pleaded. You've got some nerve spouting lines like that, especially after you mess up a chapter of my life, I retorted. The real culprit here is Rebecca for lying to me. If she hadn't lied, so you wouldn't have pushed me down the stairs, blinded by greed. I cut him off. Cut it out. You were already the worst when you cheated on me. Who would give a man like you a second chance? Those $10 million from Rebecca exposed the real David. In that sense, I could almost thank her. Her lie saved me from wasting my life on a worthless man. David tried to keep the conversation going, desperate to keep me on the line. It was a pathetic and futile struggle. I ended the call, feeling like I was pushing away someone who was desperately chasing after me. David had quit his job long ago, banking on Rebecca's $10 million lie. Now, it seemed he had to find new work. Melissa told me this as we shared drinks at my place over the weekend. She'd run into David in town and heard it straight from him. He can't get steady work because of his criminal record. Last I saw him, he was delivering food on a bike, she said. So he's doing delivery? Sounds like gig work, I mused. Seems that way. He's doing whatever he can find, Melissa replied, sharing some of David's job-hopping history. Traffic control for road work, janitorial services, lunchbox factory staff, warehouse worker. He looked worn out, all tan and sunburned, she added. It was clear that David's life had taken a downward spiral, a stark contrast to the bright future he once envisioned. This is karma for betraying Emily, I told David, and he nodded, understanding the gravity of his actions. If he's aware, that's good. I hope he continues to repent for the rest of his life. Would you consider starting over with him if the chance came? Melissa asked. No way. A man who would push a bride down the stairs in her wedding dress. Are you kidding? I replied. Melissa and I laughed heartily at the absurdity of the idea. Even if he threw $10 million my way, I'd still decline. A few days later, David contacted me again. Can you lend me $100? I'm really struggling here, he pleaded. No way. Please don't contact me again. And no following me. If you do, I'm going to the police. Wait, Emily, I'm really sorry, he tried again. Don't you dare call me by my first name, I snapped, hanging up and immediately blocking his number. If he crosses a line, I have no problem reporting him. Since parting ways with David, my life has been smooth. I got a good settlement, and he even paid for the venue. My grandparents in the nursing home and my coworkers all sympathize with me, which is to be expected. Anyone would feel sorry for a bride betrayed right after her wedding. But I'm not overly pessimistic about my current situation. My career is thriving and my personal life is fulfilling. Melissa and I are even thinking of going to a singles event. Having a divorce history isn't going to hold me back. I'm strong enough to make my fall down the stairs a talking point. Life has so much more in store, and I'm determined to find someone amazing and build a happy home.